You're listening to the Grieving Mamas Club podcast, a space for moms who are on the wild ride of motherhood while navigating their grief journey.
We're Cara and Rashida. Between the two of us, we are motherless moms of 4 toddlers and an angel baby. Together, we're going to feel our feels, but also remind you that there's joy on the journey too. Let's dig in. Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 13. We should do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yay, look at us go. It's so hard to get recordings in between all this mom life thing that we're doing that every time we get on one, I'm like, yes.
It's like, we did it. It is like the culmination. It's like, oh, we do it every other week. It's like our normal recording cadence.
Yes.
That is still hard for us because
Yes.
it's just hard.
It is between like sick kids, traveling spouses, work, like all this other stuff. It's just like every time we actually get on the mic, I'm like,
I just switched. I guess you're saying no. I'm not kidding you.
Like, we did it. We are here. We out here.
We celebrate. It's the small things. It's the small victories that you gotta keep celebrating. It keeps you going.
Yes. So this episode, we're gonna do something a little different. I'm going to read, and this is called Grief Myths Busted.
All right.
I'm going to read. Yes. So I am going to read a couple common grief myths, and Cara just gets to react.
So what everybody wants, my opinion.
Yes, and then we'll discuss them. So I have 5. We'll see how many we make it through. But before we do that, how was your week, Cara?
God, I wasn't even like, we talk about this all the time. Like, we start off every single episode with like a "How was your week?"
I know.
And I'm still like, I'm like, what week? What? Oh,
well, you had a sick babe last week.
Did have it? I mean, gosh, yeah. Just like there's like some kind of weird bug. Brooks had it first. He threw up twice we had parents teachers come over. So it was a nice day. We were sitting outside in the backyard, and he was being like real clingy, like more than usual, and would not perform for her, like perform all the tasks. Yeah, they're supposed to do it. And so,
show them you can walk.
Girl, like, open the zipper. Zip.
Yeah.
Brooks, like, yes, you love
He can do it. He's done it.
Yes. Like, yes. And so all of a sudden he just like coughed. I mean, and then, yeah. And then she was like, oh. And I was like, oh. She's like, what can I get you? And I'm like, wipes? Like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, well, I need to reschedule that with her. And I'm glad we're talking about this. So then went the whole weekend, and everyone was pretty fine. And then Ellie woke up at like 2:30 in the morning. It always is like 2:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not always, because it just happened in the afternoon. Right.
I do feel like it's at nighttime a lot.
It is. She was throwing up. So it was really. She made it to the toilet. She made it in the bowl. Like, so like that's a step up. We're progressing.
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
And so poor thing, she was a mess, but she got better. But obviously got better.
Yeah.
God, I lost my baby child, and it's
still,
just like,
she's
what
still with us.
No, yes, thank you. Every time she does it, well, Mama, I guess that was number 6. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that is number 6 that you've thrown up. And then, Mama, I guess it was number 8 that I've thrown up. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, so, poor thing. You know how, I don't know, like, why when you're sick, you're like keeping track of like how many times.
Dom keeps track of every time he's ever thrown up. So he can tell you, like, I have thrown up. Well, since he in his memory. So he'll be like, yep, I threw up that one time at Cool Dell. I threw up that one time. I woke up at night and threw up on the floor once. And both out of the 3 times that he has thrown up like that, 2 of them were caused by eating too much candy. So I used that and not enough food. So then I will be like, well, since you want to remember all the times you threw up, let's remember why.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. It's really good that you have that on him. Because you'd be like, you had 16 banana Laffy Taffies.
Yeah.
Now you know wow.
And now you know what they taste like coming back up. So let's not do it again.
Yes. God, I can't even taste them going down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. So we had 2 sick kids. I saw the Queen Heather McMahon on.
You love her.
I love her. It's like,
yes,
borderline of an issue potentially about how much I know about her, but I've been listening to her since like 2019, and on her podcast and following her on Instagram. And so yeah, I love her. She was fantastic. She was wonderful. And then we went next door afterwards to that new Four Hands. It's like in the
Oh, Chesterfield.
in the district. So this is like big for the West County people. Like we don't have anything that's like this close, like this great concert venue. I guess really, it's like the Packet, but bigger. It's so nice. All the workers were super friendly. And then to have like this Four Hands area, I think there's like a little like food court.
Yeah.
When I can remember, and like there was like a whole big astroturf area with like a big screen for
nice. Yeah.
such like of the sports variety, and it was packed, and it was really fun, really neat. So I highly recommend.
We in Kirkwood are annoyed at you in further West County because we were supposed to get the Four Hands first.
Oh, sorry. But you have, like, okay, you can step down just for a minute because you have all the shit. You got a walkable downtown.
I know.
I'm not a walkable downtown, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
That Four Hands has been promised to us, for 2 years. For 2 years, they've been like, we're going to open it in, like, I want to say it was, like, the first time was of 2021. It was, like, August of 2021. August of 2021 comes, ain't nobody broke ground where they said they were going to be. Then they were like, okay, spring of 2022. Like, we have just been like, where is it at?
Yeah.
Four Hands.
Where are they trying to put it?
Across the street from Billy G's. They're doing like a whole beer garden. They're turning, there used to be that train store there called Down by the Station.
Yeah.
They're turning that into a beer garden, but they're keeping the exterior. So they're keeping all of the like historical parts of it.
Wow.
And then it's going to like expand back to the train tracks and be a beer garden. So we're supposed to get it in the spring. They are actively working on it now, so I do believe them.
Wow. Well, that will be so cool.
Yeah. So you're right.
Cool.
We do have a lot. I'm asking for a lot.
You are.
You are asking. We have a lot, and I'm asking for more.
A bomb-ass pumpkin patch, and I'm using quotes because it's not like there's no patch to be.
There's no patch.
But it is so much fun. It has all the things that you want, and for like it's small, it's intimate. You can find your kid, kind of, but it still like gets crowded and crazy. But like it has all the fun stuff, all the high hitter like sites and attractions, all at one small place. Highly recommend that place.
Agreed. We went last week. Friday. We went Friday.
Fridays are a good time. We went on a Friday too. That was really fun. Highly recommend. And then you have all the restaurants. Yeah. So
we do.
Anyway, sorry. How was your week, Rashida?
I have some fun and exciting something to share with Cara, but I was going to text her. I think I was going to text. No, it's Friday night. I was like, I got to text Cara. And I was like, nah, I'm going to tell her this on the podcast.
I have like chills already. Oh my God.
You're about to be proud.
Okay.
For the past, let's see, 3 weeks. Pat, we were on week 3. The Dying Hearts have only door dashed 3 times.
Why? What are you feeling okay? What is going on? Oh my God, is DoorDash knocking down your doors? I bet they are giving you discount codes out the app.
They are. They will not leave us alone. They keep sending us so many push notifications. It's just like, haven't seen you in a while. I had to turn the notifications off.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's like try one of your old favorites. I was like, no,
double works hard. DoorDash be working harder.
The DoorDash is out here.
Oh.
Yes. Ben was like, do you think their stock went down?
Yeah, 100%. Only 3 times
in 3 weeks, baby.
No,
listeners, Ben and I are typically a 3 to 4 times a week DoorDash family.
I bet the cost savings. I bet you like Ben.
So that's what
you guys are like. Yes.
What had happened was I put us on a new budgeting thing. Like I was budgeting. So like I have this new spreadsheet that we were trying to use Mint, and I didn't really like Mint that much for some reason, and I found it hard to stick to.
Yeah.
And so now we have this spreadsheet that I got off some TikTok financial girly.
Yeah.
And
is that Money with Katie?
I don't even remember. I gotta go back.
It's okay.
So I bought her a little spreadsheet off Etsy that she had that has everything put together and stuff. And so once a week, I will go in and download all of our transactions and do the money to see like where we have spent. And by the time, like the first time I did this was October 10th. And we had already spent $1,000 in eating out for the month of October.
Oh, Wow.
Like, granted, I was out of town. Like, so I was in Austin for my birthday, so I was obviously spending money.
Fashion.
Yeah, obviously spending money on restaurants and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Is still.
Still, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Benny. We gotta rein it in. And literally that day we reined it in. We just haven't.
Just cut the cord. You just stopped cold turkey.
We did.
Dang.
We had.
How's it feel? You going through withdrawal? So you're like, what do we do? How do we get food? Like,
well, and I actually think the 3 door dashes that took place were Ben. Well, one was Dom. Dom wanted Jimmy John's sandwich like last Saturday for lunch, and he barely eats anything. So when he says he wants Jimmy John's, we were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But we ordered literally just his sandwich and nothing else.
Why? Why didn't you get something?
Because we have food at home. We got Jimmy John's money. We got Jimmy John's food in the fridge.
Oh my gosh.
No. And then Ben ordered. We had a like fall fest party. Our neighbors threw one for our street.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, I went to bed, and Ben decided he really needed White Castle.
Oh.
He's so great to White Castle.
I bet he was double regret on that.
He was. He did regret the next day. Then that. And then Saturday, I went out to dinner with some friends, and Ben was like, I just didn't feel like thinking deeply about it. So he had something.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wow.
So I myself have not DoorDashed for sure in 3 weeks.
Wow. Well, on the flip side, I, for the first time in 3 weeks, DoorDashed.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
It is. I don't even know how much for like DoorDash fees versus like not. And I don't.
We didn't either.
Yeah. But my friend and I, we went to Nashville a couple weekends ago. Did I already talk about this?
No, you didn't. But I saw their pics. It looked awesome.
Oh yeah. We went to Nashville. Just a little burly girl trip. It was 2 of us. It was so fun. We only went out one night, and that was enough. And the next day, we like went to brunch at a really cute place, and then laid in bed and ate sushi and watched bad movies and not bad. I love that. Watched funny movies, and then we were like, I guess we should get dressed and like go down there. I literally drank Liquid Death and Diet Cokes down on Broadway the next day, and I had a pot roast dinner at one bar. That was delicious. I know.
What?
That pot roast with dinner at one of the bars. It was so good.
You were like, it was a damn good pot roast. So
I was like, I never had pot roast at a bar, but I had. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lick my wounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was a first time dasher. Yeah. So you're ready to
dash.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From where?
I don't even know. It was somewhere in Nashville.
Yep. Yeah. I love Dash. I love I mean, so then you'll be like, oh, let me do it again. I know we're again. Let me do it again. Now I'm not. Now I'm like, we have frozen pizza.
They like deliver it. Yeah, we have frozen pizza. Yeah, exactly. If we kept that in the house, which we don't, but I don't know, that would be also slippery slope because I can't be trusted. It's just like, oh, you guys, and like Brooks loves pizza, so the kids love it, obviously. So
yeah,
I'll love it. Slap some Mike's Hot Honey on there and let's go, baby.
You're good. You're ready to rock. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. No, we're good. We're gonna stay the course and see how this new life we're living feels. Like everybody on our block is like absolutely shocked. Like last night we were all outside and someone goes, "What are the Deinhardts door dashing tonight?" And I was like, "Nothing.
Don't bring it up."
Because we are eating at home inside of our walls.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, all the money you're gonna save. That's gonna be great.
I know, and I can buy some stuff.
Yeah.
Not food.
Right, exactly. I have been on a healing of the lower back journey.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling.
It's doing so much better. But I haven't been going to birth. I just been like walking, and even walking while I was like 4 days, like real, not as much as I was, at all. So, but now my time as being a fatso on a break is nearing an end. But the money I have saved in the past, month or so is
not going to,
that's gonna serve. But I'm like, oh, it's worth it for health.
Yeah, your mental health is priceless.
It's true. Yeah, it is. That is true. So
priceless. Well, let's get into some grief myths. Cara.
All right.
Are you
Let's do it.
ready?
Yeah. I'm going to get my pen. I'm going to get my paper. So I can
before I jump into this, listeners, I wrote myself a reminder because we keep saying we're going to do this, but we always forget. Listeners, this is a call out to you. Please write or rate and
like and comment, subscribe,
all those things.
Yeah, share.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you are giving us some reviews. If you like us, let us know I think you can give reviews on Apple and Spotify. Give us those 5 stars.
Yeah.
All the things. Follow us on Instagram. Join our Facebook community. All the things. We're supposed to be better at reminding, pushing advertising for ourselves.
Yeah, it's like we do this day in and day out, and we just forget about ourselves, like the true mothers we are.
So please pause right now. Go give us 5 stars. Say something cute.
We'll do a little pause right here. We'll wait for you. Okay, you done?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And maybe if we actually start getting some, we'll read some on here.
Yeah.
People of the goodies, the feel goods,
and the bad. If you got a negative comment,
slide into our DMs for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, same. Yeah. Don't be.
Yeah. Okay. Grief myth number 1.
Okay.
Grief. Grief. I just said grief with a TH. Grief.
Oh, grief.
Like grief. Like wreath.
Grief.
Yeah. Grief follows a predictable timeline.
No, it doesn't. It does not. Because I can tell you right now, like, something's happening tomorrow with me personally, and it pertains to my mom. My dad's selling the house.
Oh no.
My childhood home. And so tomorrow is like so tomorrow is like the last time that I get to do like a walkthrough. Yeah, before everything's finalized. And it's weird because I saw the listing and they had some work done and it looks really good. The house looks really good. It looks like it was complete, like the slate was wiped clean.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's left there of my mom is like a birdhouse hanging on the garage. There's like a few other like light fixtures that are like my mom. That was so my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But so it just, other than that, it's just wild.
That is, because I feel like it's tough enough when like 2 living parents sell your child's home, right? Like there's grief there. But for it to be like the last place your mom lived and was, and like all of that is just, I
know. So going back to this grief buster, that it's a predictable timeline. It's like, that was like the first thing you said to me. In fact, was like, it's not linear. It's not, and that was also the hardest thing. One of the hardest things to get over is realizing that you're not going to feel anger or resentment or all the different stages one at a time. It's just like, it's not even cyclical. It's cyclical. It's cyclical.
That pronounced things today.
No.
It's not even cyclical.
I have a lot of nerve being on this mic sometimes. It's not cyclical either, and it's not linear, and it's just, you're all over the damn place. But there's some days where I'm just like as of late, like I'm just sad. I just like, shit, man, I just miss my mom. And then like I get angry about it too. I'm like, she should be here. She just went to the fucking doctor in the first place.
So I feel like I've been struggling with, and I think I've said this on an earlier episode, I have just been super struggling with what it would be like to have my mom here as an adult. Like, I have been super, super, super having a hard time with, like, wanting an adult relationship with my mom. So, like, I'm not over, but, like, I don't truly think about, like, oh, she missed my high school graduation, or like, she didn't get to see Dom be born, or for some strange reason that has taken a back seat, and I just find myself being like, what would Saturdays be like if she was still here? Or like, we
day to day.
Yeah, like we had a sitter fall through the other on Saturday, and Ben's parents, who's usually our like go-to, and they had dinner plans, so they were out.
Well, and you got to be careful with that too. You can't over tap that resource.
Correct. We only have one. So we can't over tap her, and we're very conscious to not over tap her.
Right.
And so I say that in Dom's with me right now because
and then also she would be like, no, please.
For sure. But I just don't even want her to ever feel tired of us, I guess. And so, so then she was like, yep, I'm so sorry I have dinner, or we're going out to dinner with friends, which like, fuck yeah, you should. You're retired. You should be going out to dinner with friends. And I was just like, ugh, I wish my mom was here. Like, I wish my mom would be like, okay, yeah, I'm coming over. That's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it sucks. It sucks having one set of grandparents sometimes, and I think that is what I am missing right now.
It's like, you're missing all of the, having, that is like the ultimate hack. I got a lot of thoughts here. That's the ultimate hack that Brian and I have talked about, is having both sets of grandparents.
Right?
Alive and well and involved. Like, that's the ultimate hack.
It is the ultimate, like, alive, well, and like willing to take your kids, and like of like feeling good. Like half the reason of my why right now of like working out and like trying to eat healthy is not even so that I look good today. It is actually so that I can like chase my grandchildren around and be a resource for Dom and Parker. When they have kids. Like, I want to be able to be like a with it grandma. It's such a weird thought to have, but when you're missing one.
You go there.
When a grandma is missing from your picture, you are, so like I feel like this part of grief doesn't have a name. Like, this part of like I'm well beyond the time of like the fresh shock of it all, like the fresh shock of it all. Like, my mom's been gone for 18 years. And so I just find myself quietly musing. And I wouldn't even say it's always sadly. I'm not sad all the time, but I just find myself a lot lately quietly musing about like what our adult relationship would be like, and kind of missing that.
What would that be called? I'm trying to think of like, it's like, that's not mundane, like the everyday, the mundane, not mundane grief, but like everyday grief. I think that you've talked about that too. I don't know. That's a really good.
I've called it like re-grief before. Having in a different way, but like, it's just like, I don't miss her anymore. Like, you probably you're so fresh still, in my opinion. 3 years is still pretty fresh. And so in my opinion, you still miss your mom in some, you could, and this is, tell me if I'm overstepping. You still miss your mom in activities that you did with her. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like, didn't you say you guys would like go shopping on Saturdays with Ellie? So like, you still miss that. Like, so there are moments of your life your mom could have still very much been a part of if she were here today. There are no moments like that for me. Like, it's all
it's different.
It's all my imagination, right? Because like, it's not like I lost her. My life is so different from when I lost her that it's all imaginations. It's all what if.
That is a whole other life, a couple lifetimes, in fact. Because I feel like it was like high school Rashida, then there was college Rashida, now there's adult Rashida, or there's post college, and then there's adult, and like, there's so many lifetimes in there. You're a completely different person, and I feel like I can say that because in the 3.5 years that my mom's been gone, I feel like I'm a completely different person, but I feel like I'm also a completely different person because of the experience I've had. Of the loss, and like, and with everything else, it's just completely changed everything. So changed me.
But
I know I had one Friday where I went out with some friends from I have a group of mom friends that started off with Ellie in preschool and a daycare and preschool, and then like we transitioned. Their kids also go to the new kids' new school, and so like we're still tight. We went to church in the morning. It was like an all school mass. Went to church in the morning, and then we went to Target. was just two of us girls. And then we picked up a third and went to brunch and had these giant mimosas from Russell's, which was
nice.
it was so
Yeah. And
yeah.
Russell's was your place with your
Yeah.
mom, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yes. So I would just, I was just like, so we go to Target, we go to Russell's. I was just vibing hard. And then after that, we went and got our nails done. And then I got a call from the school nurse that Ellie was having an earache or something like that. So that, the world came crashing down on me. But it was like I felt so, it was so, my heart was so full from that day, from that half day, that like, I was like, oh my gosh, this feels like something that I used to do with my mom. So it felt good. And even like one of my friends acknowledged it. She's like, didn't you say that like you used to do stuff like this with your mom all the time? I was like, yeah, so thank you for remembering that. And
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I forget what the point was of reaching that, but it was to tie in with you.
It was that grief does not follow a predictable timeline. Myth busted.
Yeah. Yeah. We need like big red X's.
I know. Done. Number 2. Grief should be kept private. Your thoughts?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
This one's tough.
Yeah,
this one's tough. I personally don't think that grief should be kept private. Clearly,
yeah, yeah.
Clearly, don't subscribe to that belief. And I also think that if you keep grief private, like only to yourself, you're not truly living it, like you're not working through it, kind of.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't want to force anybody to be as open as we are about grief, right? So like, I don't need you to start a podcast about it.
Right.
But I would
you
say,
don't need to post about it on social media either.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Just have someone to talk to.
But I think you need to talk through it. Like, I think it needs to be a part of, like, because it is a part of you.
Yeah.
And so I just think it has to be talked about, but I also don't, I guess I'm taking private too literally. Like, when I'm like, grief should be kept private, I'm like, that means you talk to nobody.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, that's interesting that you bring this up, because I think we talked about it maybe a little bit in our last podcast or so, but like, Ryan asked me the question, why do you want to remember, or why do you celebrate your mom's death anniversary? And we were both like, you and I were both like kind of stumped, and producer Ryan just writing in,
slide in emails.
Yeah. No, and for him, from his perspective, he's never gone through like any major losses per se. So he doesn't know. But I feel like it just all depends on how people deal with their emotions and to begin with. And sometimes things are kept very closely. Like there's some things that we've talked about on the podcast, like that we don't even share because it's, we just don't need to.
We're not ready to.
So,
that's not.
Yeah. But I feel like some people are just more comfortable, like you and I, with sharing. I also think that there's a little bit of a stigma if when you are sharing, that people will think that you aren't getting over the loss, that you are stuck back in time, that you can't move on, that you can't be happy for other people. And that couldn't, for me, and
that's also a myth.
Yeah, yes, and that's also untrue, because you can be all of those things. And still be happy in life in general, be happy for other people, and still be moving on, but still want and yearn for what once was.
Totally. I also think I process my emotions out loud. I think that I'm also, one of my friends said something the other day that made me laugh. She was like, I never have to wonder, like, what is Rashida thinking of this situation? Like, in a situation, I will say what I'm thinking, and it will be tactful. Like, I won't just come out of nowhere and be like, "No, fuck you."
Yeah, that's stupid. No,
but it will be like, "Oh, that actually made me feel a little uncomfortable, and here's why." Like, I
love that. Yeah, I love that.
I will emote out loud. Yeah, and so I also think that's grief is it's part of an emotion, right? Like, it's a feeling also. And so I think it's probably more natural for me to feel grief out loud, because I feel a lot of my emotions out loud. Yeah. Good, bad, or ugly. I feel most of my emotions out loud.
Yes. So it's much easier for you and I to emote, to share our grief feelings in a public space, in a public manner, than it is for, let's say, for Brian, when he does go through that, when producer Brian does go through that, I am, well, God, I just absolutely dread it, which we can get back to, but like, because I don't want him to feel that,
Yeah.
but
And, I think
Because
it's
he
the same
doesn't-
way. Ben doesn't emote
internalize it.
Yeah,
Like, they
he doesn't-
internalize.
He also and it's one of the things I like about him is he kind of functions here.
Yeah.
Like, he's always like right where
Yes.
that he's not too far up, he's not too far down.
But you may be the same person.
But that's good because we are always
Yes. We literally, yeah, exactly. We need that.
so he kind of functions right in the middle. He's not too far up, he's not too far down. And I am up and I am down.
Yeah.
Up and I am down. But I worry also when Ben goes through, and Ben has gone through grief. Like I've said on here, he has lost his older brother, but that was when he was 9. Yeah. And so in his adult life, I would say he hasn't had like a lot of grief to be felt with or dealt with. And I know that Ben is also, he would be someone who would probably attempt to grieve in private and not bring it up again. Yeah. But he's married to me. So
So you're going to be like, hey.
Yeah, I would be like, nope, let's talk about this again. Like, let's go. Should you find a counselor? Like, how are you feeling today? Like, so I go back and forth because I know people who would want to grieve in private, and I respect their want to do that, but I also don't think it's healthy.
It's not a hard and fast rule for anybody.
Yeah.
To keep it private. I think it's a very old school. I also think it's a very old school way of dealing with emotions. And I think that has also passed down a lot of generational trauma. And we are here to break that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
At least I am.
Grief myth number 3. And we talked about this one on the podcast before. Grief is only associated with the death of a loved one.
Nope.
Big old red X.
No, as we all learned going through COVID, like we were all mourning at the same time. The world was fucking spiraling. So that's example number 1. Number 2, shit, there's like a fucking daily grief journey. Like, shit, I woke up late. If I would, really ridiculous. But yeah, it's not just a death.
No. I agree. Right now, I just had a friend. We need to find somebody. I want to do a pet loss episode.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Even though I guess that is technically the death of a loved one, but it's not. My point is that grief is not the death of a human. Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so my friend just had to put down all 3 of her dogs in the last year for different reasons.
That's terrible.
Different reasons. Also had her house catch on fire.
What?
Yes. And so we had her over for like dinner a couple weekends ago because I was like, please just come over and let us feed you and pour alcohol down your throat because you had a really shitty year.
Just have a comfortable place. It's not a restaurant. It's like
where you don't have to feel like you have to be put together. Like
just come over.
This ain't that. Yeah, just come over and let us take care of you. Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, I just feel like I am a dark cloud rolling around all the time. And I was like, you got a lot going on. That's grief. That is grief.
Yes.
That's grief. Like, she's gonna have, like, she's missing her dogs. She's missing her house. Like, they're currently in a rental. Like, I just feel like, she's like, you can have griefy feels about anything that I always say it's like anything you thought, if you had a picture, I'm not saying this as eloquently enough, but if you had a picture of the way that something was going to be in your head, and then it's not,
that is great.
For whatever reasons, you're allowed to feel feels about that. Like, you're allowed to feel, and it's all relative. So, like, if you had thoughts that you were going to have DoorDash for dinner, and now you looked at your bank account and you realize that's actually not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. That is grief. Yes.
There's a little bitty grief journey there. However, I probably shouldn't throw things at that revelation. But I think that is how I feel. Like, if you had a vision right? Like for yourself, for your future. I think you can grieve losing a job. I think you can grieve. In some ways, I grieve a little bit. Getting ready to leave advertising.
Yeah.
Been the thing that I've been doing for so long and been good at it. I'm good at it.
Oh, real good. Yeah. MBD. Yeah.
And it's going to be different to do something different. So I can feel myself being like, okay, yeah, there are parts of advertising and marketing that I'm going to miss as I transition into therapy. But
right. Well, and it's like probably a little bit of like, like your ego, like, oh my God, what if I don't succeed? And like, you've succeeded with advertising and in the ad world. So like, well, what if there's kind of like that little piece of you, but you just have to tell that little voice to shut the fuck up. But yeah, it can be as small and as mundane as the things of like, shit, I wanted to eat out tonight, but I can't I can't DoorDash because of my bank account, but up to, the devastating losses. There's grief comes in many forms, I'd say.
And I think as moms, we are doing some form of grieving almost every day. Like whether it is grieving our former selves, like grieving abilities we used to have, bodies we used to have, free time we used to have. Like,
what is that?
I don't know. So grieving those kinds of things, down to grieving like our children aging out, things.
I was just getting ready. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like I was looking at a picture of Parker we just got our landscaping done, and someone was like, "Do you have a before picture of your house?" Which randomly we don't.
Yeah. That would be from like the Zillow listing or like the listing or whatever.
Well, I mean, we've lived here for 7 years, so it looks different from the Zillow listing.
Yeah.
And so I was like scrolling back there and being like, why have I never taken pictures of the front of my house? Probably because I'm always the one taking the picture and it's always walking out of the house. So I scrolling and was like looking at pictures, like started to get to baby pictures of P. And I was just like, oh man, like in my soul, I miss like a little snuggly Parker baby.
I know. I know. I totally feel that. And that's like the fucked up thing of motherhood, or maybe it's not fucked up. I don't know, but
no, it is. There's a part of me.
Yeah. And the part of me, it's like, should we be done? Should we have been done? Like we're done. Brian and I are both like, we've, done.
We're about to done it too. But
yes.
That's a great journey.
Yeah. That's a lot.
It's a great journey.
Yes, it is a great journey. It is a great journey. It absolutely is. It's, but at the same time, it's like for me, it's like, thank God Brooks is healthy, but with his hemophilia, like we don't know if any children subsequently after him, or if Ellie could be a carrier of that genetic sort. So like that kind of like, we're done now. Like we're good. So
we're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
You don't want to go back. You don't want to start over.
No. And also, another thing to grieve, or on the heels of what you just said about being like, we're done, and that's kind of weird. Yeah. A friend of mine was also like telling me, she was like, isn't it weird to be though, like post childbearing years?
Yeah.
Like to consider yourself.
Oh my God. I had that thought after I had Brooks and like had the procedure. I was like, oh my God, I'm done. And then this, oh my God, not a core memory unlocked. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yes, it is so weird. It's also exciting though too, I will say.
Yes. Oh yeah. I get to find myself again, and like I'm not in between pregnancies or like any of those things.
Right. I can like whatever supplements I want, and I can work out, and
my body is my body is mine again.
Yes.
But it feels weird to say that. Like she was like, we're not even in our 40s. Like it feels weird to just be like, yeah, and I'm done having kids, and you're like still in your 30s. Like you still could be having kids.
Right. I don't want to though. Shit, man. That last one took it out of me.
Yeah.
It still is every day. No, he's a little stink butt. So all right. Boom. Busted.
Here is one more.
Okay.
Grief means you are weak and not coping well.
Okay. I feel like we talk touched on this a smidge before. I close up my pen for this. And you could just go right ahead and fuck yourself if that's what you think.
Agreed.
That's what I'm going to say.
Agreed. You're right. This goes kind of with the grieving in public or grieving in private or grieving out loud.
Yeah.
Grief is an emotion. I don't understand why we can't, like, just like we are allowed to feel happiness or it's a state of being. It's an emotion. It's so many things. Grief is a noun, an adjective, all of the things.
Yeah.
And so I would be, the future therapist in me is like, nope, grief, everybody should grieve. Everybody should feel their feelings.
Yeah.
The only way to is through.
Exactly. Amen. And here's the other thing. If you lost somebody who played such a significant role in your life, positively, who you were so close to, and then they are ripped from you, from your life, from your everyday moment of every life, every moment of your everyday.
Yeah, I follow.
Why wouldn't you feel sad? And why wouldn't you talk about it? Why wouldn't you move through that and be open? Like, just because they're gone doesn't mean that you can't miss them anymore. Like, I guess again, it goes back to generational. I feel like it was, our grandparents were around. Maybe it wasn't okay to like talk about grief and loss.
And it's like a good thing to be seen as like a strong griever, like almost like it was like good to be seen as someone not crying over somebody. Because back then I feel like that, and this is a new day and age, y'all. Like back then, like in our parents' generation, it would have been seen as like a weakness that you couldn't get it together long, like you're still crying or you're still not over that. I feel like that could have been perception 20 years ago. And maybe in some cases still kind of like sprinkles into today's society. But I hope that anybody who is listening to this podcast knows that like to show your grief is not a weakness. It's actually a superpower. I think that is it, listeners. We made it through 4. But let us know if you like, what are some other grief myths that you have heard of that you want us to discuss on here as well. Maybe we'll do a part 2 because I feel like we could keep going. Maybe we'll do a part 2 later on. So if you want to email us any thoughts that you have on grief or any like misconceptions people have about grief that you yourself have encountered, you could email us. Actually, we have a working email. It is the letter T. I don't know why I said the letter T because when I say Tom. Yeah. Tom. Yeah. G. Yeah. So TGMC podcast at gmail.com. So yeah, slide into our inboxes and let us know your grief myths that you'd like us to bust next.
Yeah. Maybe we could do like a little like ask me anything style question box.
Yeah.
And be like, hey.
Yeah. Also just slide into our DMs for any or email for any other thing as well. If you have any show ideas you'd like us to any topic ideas you'd like us to cover, any questions you have for Cara and I, feel free to add that in.
Please do.
And then otherwise, like we said, like, rate, subscribe.
Yep. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. A lot.
We're remembering. We're really pushing ourselves this episode. So yeah, give us all the good juju so that other people can find us in the Apple and Spotify searches as well.
Exactly. That is the biggest thing, is we want to be a resource to other mamas who are going down the grieving path, and we want to be there for them. We can help them through. We say helps a lot.
We do. I'm sorry. We sorry about it. We're not that sorry about it. Anyhow, see you guys next time.
Bye. All right, gals. Thanks so much for listening to the Grieving Mamas Club podcast. When times get tough, just remember, you're a badass bee and you got this, mama.